Hey, thanks for joining me to color. Today we are going to be working on this adorable new Stampabella image called Faye Loves Fall. I will put a link down in the description box to the card kit and all the supplies I used. I would love for you to come shopping with me. So I have already stamped my image on Nina 80-pound solar white cardstock with Memento Tuxedo black ink. So let's color. Alright, so before we get started, I just wanted to point out on your direction sheet, usually I list all these colors I've used down here in the directions up here under Copic marker so you can get them all out together. But this time I evidently forgot to go in and change this from the last sheet I used. So these markers up here do not match what's down here. So you're going to have to actually pull all your markers from down here in this little section here. So sorry about that. I would go in and print new sheets, or if you want me to send you one in an email, just email me and I will send you one and you can print it out with the colors that go here, actually up here in this section where they go. So let's start out by outlining our image with W0. So I'm going to start down here in between her legs first, and I'm not going to do anything fancy. I'm just going to work my way around my girl, and you could make it as skinny or as fat as you want. It's totally up to you. I don't really pay attention. I just kind of go around in a big line, and sometimes it's skinny, sometimes it's not. But I like to do it first so that if I get any on my girl and I want to erase it, I can do that before I color her and I don't have to worry about messing the rest of her up. Let's grab these little cute leaves that are floating out here in the sky before I forget completely about those. Just go around. That, and then let's continue around with our girl. So we're just going to go all the way around. And I like to do the outlining because it gives it just a little bit more dimension. Looks to me like it makes it pop up off of the page just a little bit and not look quite so flat. And here's another leaf. And this cute little leaf right here. And then I want to do around my apple down here on the ground and my snail. Next, let's do her skin. For that, we're going to use E11, E21, E00, and for her cheeks, I'm going to use R43 and R20. I'm going to start with my E11, and she's got just a little bit of her finger showing over here, so I'm going to just use the very tip of my pen and give those little dabs so I can add a little bit of the other colors on there. And then up here, I'm going to do her neck, and I'm going to go down the side of her coat, and then her ear. And then I want to add a little bit of color here where her hair is touching her face. Next I'm going to grab E21. I'm going to go in here and I want to finish off these fingers, so I'm just going to dab the rest of my color on there and fill those in. And then we're going to go up here and we'll go onto her neck, and I'm going to brush away from my E11 over here towards the collar of her coat. I'm going to leave a little bit of white space there for my last color. And same up here, we're going to brush away from our E11, flick into your white. I'm going to bring this color down around to touch the other side. Now I'm going to grab E00 and I'm going to fill in this section. And I actually like to go over the entire area, so I did her whole neck. And then we'll do her ear. And then for her face, we're going to brush over those last two colors and bring the color into the center. And then I'm going to grab a little bit, so let's do her cheeks, so with R43, and I like to go down I go from her eye and then I come over just a little bit so it's closer to the edge of her cheek. And I'm just dabbing my pen up and down. Same for this side. I'm going to come down from her eye and then dab over towards the left. And just make a few little dots. And then I'm going to grab R20 and I'm going to do the same thing by dotting up and down around the edges of that last R43. And then I'm going to take E00 and swipe over the entire face just to soften those colors. Next, let's do her hair, the snail, and some miscellaneous leaves. For that, we're going to use E59, E33, and E31. And I'm going to start up here at her hair. And up here underneath of her jawline, she's got a few little curly cues. So I'm going to take my E59 and I'm going to dab right in the middle of some of those curly cues and give them a little bit of dark color. And then for her hair, I'm going to just add a few little streaks coming up from the bottom. Next I'm going to grab E33 and let's add a little bit more color down here to our curls. And then we'll add some more color up here onto her bangs. And then we're going to fill it in with our E31. Then I'm going to go back with my E59 and just add a few more streaks into her hair. So I'm going to hold my pen more straight up and down and try to make the little tiny lines. Alright, and then let's hop down here and we're going to do this cute little snail that's sitting on the apple here. So I'm going to take my E59 and I'm just going to go over the top of that little swirl. And then I'm going to fill in his shell with E33. And then I'm going to take E31 to go over his body. Okay, I'm liking that. So now let's do this leaf right here too. So I'm going to take again E59, or sorry, E59, and let's go right along the top of this folded section. And then next I'm going to do E33. I'm going to do a little bit of this color along the edge of the bottom of this section. And then I'm going to take E31 to fill it all the way in. Okay, and let's also use these colors on this little leaf right here. So again, I'm going to grab E59. And let's do this one over here that's kind of looks like it's folded in half. And grab E33 next. And then E31 to fill both of those in. Next, let's do her hat, the buttons and dots on her outfit, and these tights, and her buttons on her boots. For that, we're going to use W7, W5, and W3. I want to start up here at her hat, so I'm going to take my W7, and I'm going to run it right along the edge of this flower first so I don't accidentally color that. And then I want to flick this color about a third of the way up. And then she had a little line right here, that I want to exaggerate. So I'm going to bring that around over here towards the other side, about 3/4 of the way. And then I'm going to take W5, and we're going to brush right over that. And I'm going to go connect this line to that line on that side. And then I'm going to fill it in with W3. And I'm going to go back with my W7. I just want to darken this up just a little bit more. Put my contrast back in there. And then I'm just going to leave it like that. Then I'm going to hop down here, I'm going to do her tights. So let's do the back sides of both ones. So let's go down the back of this one, and she's got a little bit where her knee bumps out, so I'm going to give that a little bit of a line there. And I'm not worried about any of those dots. And again, here's her knee bump. And next I'm going to go with W5. So touch down on top of your W7. And we're going to brush out towards the outside edge. And again, I'm not worried about the dots. I'm going to color them all the way up. And later, I'm going to come back with my Sharpie white paint pen, and I'm going to make them white. And lastly, you're going to take W3 to fill that in. Okay, let's do these buttons down here on her boots too. So let's do W7. I'm going to give those a little C. And let's hop up here and do these buttons on her coat. So again, I'm going to do a little C on those buttons. Then I'm going to grab W5. And I'm going to do a bigger C. And down here on the boots. And then we're going to fill them in with W3. So I'm just going to swirl my pen around the entire button. And same for her coat. And then let's do the pockets on her jacket. So again, grab W7. And I'm going to go right along a little skinny line along the top of her pocket. And then I'm going to give each of these little dots just a little swirl. Same for this side. Let's do a little bit along the top of the pocket. And then a little swirl of our W7 inside the dots. Next I'm going to grab W5. Add a little bit of color to each of these little pocket scallops. And then our dots. And then W3 to fill it the rest of the way in. Okay, so W3 we're also going to use on the ruffle of her jacket. So nothing fancy, I'm just going to color right along the edge of this little ruffle, fill it in. And then the same for the ruffle up here at the top of her jacket. And then in between her collar on her shirt, between the ruffle and her shirt, I'm going to color that in with this. Next, let's do these boots and the basket. For that, we're going to use E18, E39, E15, and E13. I'm going to start down here on my boots with my E18. I'm going to go down the back side of this boot. And then she's got some little lines here. I'm just going to kind of squiggle over the top of those. And then I'm going to add a little color to each of these lines. And for this boot, I'm going to go down the inside of this boot. This, around over here to the side, and then again I'm going to squiggle over this line of lines, and then exaggerate all of these lines. And then I'm going to grab E39. We're going to bring this color a little bit further out onto our boot, and then I want to help soften these lines, so I'm going to go right over the top of those. Next we'll go with E15. And then we'll take our E13 to fill it in. Right, let's go up here and do the basket. So again, I'm going to start with my E18. And let's do a little bit of dark along this basket edge. And this little band. And then right here where the leaf is touching, I want to bring that out a little bit more. And then I'm going to go with E39. I'm going to fill in over here where it touches the leaf. And then we're going to bring this color out. And we're going to go underneath of the basket. And underneath this side. And then I want to do each of these lines. Like this. Okay. And then we're going to add E15. So we're going to add this color up here. And then we want to go over each of these lines that we did down here. And we add a little bit around this band. Then let's fill it in with E13. Evidently I need to fill my E13 up. It's getting a little dry. Now let's work on her coat, the flower in her hair, and some more of these miscellaneous leaves. For that we're going to use RV99, R56, RV95, and RV93. Let's go ahead and start with RV99 on her jacket. And for that, let's start up here at the collar. And she's got a little bit of her coat showing there behind her hair. So we do that, and then I'm going to run just a tiny line down the inside of that coat collar. And then over here we want to go underneath of her hair and then down the collar again. I'm going to go with R56 next. And I want to brush on top of my last color, and I'm going to bring that color out. Same for over here. I'm going to brush on top of our last color and flick this color out this way. And then we're going to add RB95. So this time, because this is so red and pink, I'm going to go ahead and add this purple color right over the top of that. So I want to start way back here at my first color and pull through the two last colors. Same for over here. I want to start way back here at the RB99, go through R56, and come out here on the white. And then we're going to finish it up with RB93. Alright, and let's move down here. So again, I'm going to grab RB99. And I'm going to put a little dab underneath this ruffle from her coat and down her sleeve. And then over here on her coat sleeve, we're going to do a little dab next to her body. And let's go ahead and start this side too. So let's go right down the side of her coat. And then over here where, well, wait a minute. I'm going to do underneath this ruffle. And then I want to go down the seam where the buttons are. Okay, but I want my line to go out a little bit more from this side. So I'm going to turn my girl here, and then I'm going to flick away from these buttons. And pull that color out here a bit more. Same for this side. I want my color to come out more. And then I'm going to grab R56, and I want to do a little bit of color on the sleeves. Right down the side there, and then I want to bring this color out. I think I'll bring this color over here around the pocket. Then we'll grab RB95. And then remember, we want to go over the last two colors. So we're going to go over all of this. We're going to come around that pocket. And then RB93, I'm going to go across this whole section. Okay, now I want to go with my R56 again and just soften this edge a little bit more. And then RB95. And then RB93 again. I'm liking that, so I'm going to leave it like that. And now I want to do the pocket. So I'm going to start with R56, and I'm going to do a little bit up here towards the top. And same for over on this pocket. And then RV95. And then RV93 to fill it all the way in. So that's her coat. Now let's hop up here and do this flower in her hair. So again, I'm going to grab RV99, and I want to add a little bit of shadows in between each petal. So I'm just going to go around the top of these inner petals. And then in here, there's a little swirly thing, which I'm going to go around that. And each petal has a little line, so I'm going to go down the little line. And then I'm going to go over that color with my R56. And then I'm going to go over those two colors with RV95. And then I'm going to go over the whole flower with RV93. Even the center part, because in the end I'm going to take my Sharpie white paint pen and I'm going to put a little white dot there in the middle of that flower. Okay, there's our flower. Next, let's do a couple of leaves. So grab RV99 and let's do this leaf over here. So I'm just going to give the middle a little swoosh of color there and a little bit extra at the bottom. And then this leaf, this big leaf right here. And then we're going to grab R56. We're going to go over the top of that color. And then RV95. And then we'll fill that in with RV93. Now let's do her dress. For that we're going to use YR27, 24, and 23. I'm going to start with YR27. I'm going to go down the inside where it's touching her coat on this left side. And then the skirt, or the bottom, I'm going to go right next to this little ruffle. Next we'll go with YR24. I'm going to go over the top of the last color and pull out into the white. Same with down here. I'm going to touch down on top of the YR27 and color into your white. And then we're going to fill it in with YR23. For the apples, let's use E19, E15, R05, G12, and R02. We've got quite an assortment there. So I'm going to start with my E19 and I'm going to add some shadows. So let's go right next to the basket on this one. And this one we'll just continue up over the top. And this one go around the leaf. And over here. And there's also an apple down here on the ground. So I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of this right along the edge, the bottom. Then I'm going to go with E15. Let's start down here. I'm going to pull that color up a little bit more. I'll go up here and get these in the basket. So I just want to add a little bit more color to that shadow. But I'm touching down on top of the previous color. Next we're going to go with R05. So I want to color over those last two colors and come more up into my white. And then this little apple down here on the ground. Then we're going to go with G12. So this I'm going to use right in the center of the apples. It looks like it's got a little green area there. And then same for up here. Let's get this one that has a stem. So I'm going to color in the center. And this one has a stem, so let's color around the center of that one. And then we're going to take R02 and fill the apples in. And over here, when they have the green on it, I'm going to color right over the top of the green. So it's just in the background. And the one down here on the ground. And there's a little bit of edge here on this one, so I'm going to color over that just a little bit extra. Now, let's go down here and work on this pumpkin. For that, we're going to use YR27, 68, and 15. I'm going to start with my YR27. And let's start right here underneath this leaf. So let's go right down the center right here and give that a little dab. And then let's go, oh, there's a little bit of pumpkin showing behind her leg right here, so I'm going to get that. And then I'm just going to work my way down each seam. And remember, it's green in the middle, so we're going to stop. You know, don't color the middle part. And then again, here's a little bit of pumpkin showing over here behind her leg. And go down this seam here. And I'll bring this color up above her boot. And for this one, there's some grass down here. So I'm just going to kind of flick where I think the pumpkin stops. And then this one, let's go down the center of our seam. And again, here's grass. So I'm just going to flick some color down in between. And this one. And one more over here. And whoops, it looks like this side. We got the center and then the leaf, and then right over here is pumpkin. So let me get that real quick. Next we're going to go with YR68. So let's just start where we left off. So I'm going to go over my previous color, and I'm going to cover that up and bring it out into the white. So like over here, we want to get that little spot behind her leg, but we want to go over that entire area and then flick up into our white section. And over here I'm going to cover in the back section of this one. And bring this color past the previous color. I think I'll round this one over a little bit more like that. And then we're going to take YR15 to fill it in. And I think I'll take this color and go over the previous two colors. Give it more of a yellowish tone on my pumpkin. Don't forget to do those two little spots behind her leg. soften that just a little bit more. Now, let's work on our greenery. For that, we're going to use YG 99, 95, 93, and G12. Let's go ahead and start up here on this one little leaf right here. And for that, we're going to start with our YG 99. And let's give that little spot there in the center a swirl. And then let's grab this leaf over here. So again, just give it a little dab. And let's do this color right here, and I'm going to do the underside over here. And then for the pumpkin, I'm going to do a dark next to the pumpkin. And then this little piece of the stem looks like it's kind of going underneath, so I'm going to give it a little dab right there where it twists. And then I'm going to give a little small dab to each one of these little stems. Maybe a little bit up here on the stem. Okay, then I'm going to go with YG 95 next. So let's add a little bit more color to our leaves. And we'll get this leaf. And then we'll go down here to our pumpkin stem. Next we're going to have YG 93. Here on our pumpkin leaf. And add a little bit more to our pumpkin stem. And then we're going to finish off with G12. And I'm going to go over the entire pumpkin stem with my G12. And we'll get our leaves up here. And this leaf right here. And then I forgot these leaves up here, so let's go and grab YG 99. 95. And I think I'll do the stems of the apples too. 93. And there's also a stem down here on this apple, so let's go ahead and dab that one with the 93. And then I'm going to go over them with my G12. I still have a few leaves floating around up here, so let's use the shirt color on those, which was YR 27, 24, and 23. I'm going to start with YR 27. Let's give the center of this one a little swirl of color. And then we've got a couple down here that need some color. And right here. Next I'm going to go with YR 24. And a little dab on this one. And then YR 23 to fill those in. So that leaves us with the grass. For that we're going to use YG 99, 95, 93, and G12 again, the same colors we used for the leaves. I'm going to start with my YG 99. And let's start over here where these apples are, or where this apple is. And I'm just going to give it a few little spots coming out. And then over here we're going to go underneath of her foot. And let's add, here's a little tuft of grass, so let's add some color in there. And here's a tuft of grass. And down here, here's some. So I'm just adding some lines in there. Okay, and then I'm going to grab YG95. Same thing, I'm just going to start adding some lines in here. Then we'll go with YG93. And then G12. I'm going to go back and add some grass. So I've grabbed YG99 again, and there's already some grass on here, so I'm just going to use some of those to add some color on here, and I'm not necessarily even hitting the streaks that are there. I just want some of this grass to show back up. And then grab YG95 and let's add a little bit more. And then I'm going to go with G12 up here towards the top so I can see some. I'm going to put a little bit longer streaks. So they go up past some of this other grass. So they show up a little bit. So there is our beautiful Faye Loves Fall all colored up. Isn't she pretty? And then again, here is the finished card. So this stamp set actually comes with the sentiment too. I forgot to say that at first, but it does come with that. So I have used my Sharpie white paint pen to add a dot to the flower and to her little socks down here. And then I took my Wink of Stella brush in clear, and I added that to the flower up here, and I put a whole bunch on her jacket. So it's very, very sharp, sparkly. And then, of course, I did my Spica glitter pen in her hair in clear, so she'd have some sparkles on there. Oh, and it looks like I also added some of my Wink of Stella brush to the leaves, so they're sparkly when you turn it. I don't know if you can see it on the camera or not, but they are very sparkly. And I added 4 or 5 or 6 coats to her jacket, so it's really sparkly. So I hope you had fun coloring with me today. If you have a question, leave me a comment. Otherwise, we'll see you next time. Have a great day. Bye.